Alright, hello everybody, Papercut here, back with another replay review. This time we have Falcone, a Diamond 2 HRE player, playing against, I don't know how to pronounce that, but an English player who is also Diamond 2. But I think the key context about this English player is that they have hit Conqueror 2 this season, and last season they saw a Conqueror 1. And Falcone, who asked me to do this replay review, his goal is really to hit Conqueror this season for the first time. And so beating a Conqueror level player is huge. It is a great show that he can totally complete his goal this season. So I'm really, really happy for him. I'm glad to see he was able to get this win. Now, this is a unique replay review because he did win this game, but he felt like he made a lot of little mistakes. He could have done a lot better. So he asked me to look at this game to see where he could improve, because he knows that if he wants to reach and stay in Conqueror, he needs to improve his gameplay as much as he can, especially against these higher level games, against people who have hit Conqueror themselves. Before I jump in, if you're interested in your own replay review, please feel free to message me on Discord, or follow me on Twitch and ask, or even put a comment below in this video. If you look at the description below, you will see where to reach out to me. With that, let's go ahead and get started. So we're on everybody's favorite map, Forts. I don't play it anymore. It frustrated me too much. And it's not a lot of people's favorite maps. I'm okay with it, but I understand why plenty of people are not fans of it. So the English versus HRE versus English matchup is an interesting one, because English likes to do the 2TC king right now. HRE likes the fast castle. That's the thing. Fast castle is one of the best strategies in my opinion against the English 2TC, and HRE can fast castle better than any of them. Doing a super fast age up, interesting. I'd like to know the thoughts around the super fast age up, because I feel like you do this if you're trying to get some sort of advantage by aging up this quickly. So it would either be you want to immediately get a tower up and upgrade it. Maybe you want to, I guess, actually the big thing is the Aachen Chapel bonus immediately would be nice, because your Aachen's going to capture almost everything in here, so getting that bonus instantly would be really nice. So I could see that being the reason. So he's going to do the Abbey of Kings. This doesn't mean he's going to 2TC though. You want to confirm that with the stone, because I've had times where I've seen the opening Abbey of Kings, the opposing player knows I didn't scout, and they go all in, and that's surprising, and that can put you in a bad spot. Sorry about the coughing, if you heard that. Oh, we're dropping Iraqs. We're going instant pressure. Interesting. So I am actually a fan of this against... Oh, actually, you need the spears for the... Right, you need the spears for... Oh, we're also dropping archery, and so we're doing pressure. First of all, since around your TC is going to be where you want the majority of your farms to be, around the Aachen and around the TC for safety, I would potentially put the starting barracks like right here, or in this corner. See in the archer range, you could try to put it farther back. Especially because his king's not there yet. It will be soon, but you just want to try to save as much of the space near the TC around the Aachen as possible. Now you can always delete this later and move it, so it's fine, but if you're able to try to set it outside the bounds of the TC space. There's the king. So one thing you can do against this 2TC play is all-in feudal. That's because a lot of the times English players are trying to age up without making units, and it does take a second for them to get the eco working to do that. No stone though, so you have to be careful. He's not going to TC, at least at this point. Great scouting though, love that you struck at his base multiple times, and we're just going straight up pressure. So this can definitely work for a couple of reasons for HRE. One, English longbows are slow, while HRE archers are fast. So you massing archers, you can outspeed him by running up and attacking the longbows and keep pushing. So you have to outnumber them, but he can't run away from you. So if he takes a bad engagement, you can hunt him down. Two, your men-at-arms are super tanky to archer fire. So the only thing you have to really worry about is like horsemen or his own men-at-arms. I love this early pressure here, pushing him off. He's doing no damage with the king in the back. That's great. This is when you start adding farms. Oh, he rushed castle. Wow. Yeah, so the one thing you could have done differently in this situation is you waited too long. So as you're scouting, you were running around and you saw he had no units, he wasn't going TC, and he had a lot on gold. So you could have instantly sent units across. You waited till you had like a solid mass and then you went. At this level, if you see the advantage, you go and take it. There's been times where, you know, I played, for example, I played a Mali game recently where I was playing against the 2TC English. I saw he was making no units. I made a javelin thrower and immediately sent it across, like by itself, because the sooner you're getting units across, the sooner he has to start responding with his own units, unless he wants to take villager damage and villager idle. So you had great scouting. Use that to your advantage. Just go earlier. Go earlier. Push him off gold and start that pressure, because he's going to get the white tower up. Which is fine for you. You have enough units that you can basically keep him off resources. You can't dive under that. It's too much. Yep. So at this point, my suggestion to you would be is you make enough units to kind of cover sacred sites. If what they usually do in the situation in the fast castle is knights. So you already have barracks, so you start making spearmen. You should cover his closest relics, because if I'm English, I would want to try to take the relics from you. Would be my main goal. I'd get our knights, I'd try to take the relics. If they hit castle before you, generally the move is then to wall. So I'd wall from here to here, here to here, here to here, and then around the outside of the base so that he can't raid you easily. And then I'm moving all my villagers off wood, because you have production, onto golden food. You can start adding farms and things like that, and you rush castle yourself. Let me just see what you do here. So making units, you need to start adding farms. Even on this pressure style, it's worth it to add farms. Like you have a lot of extra wood, you're not using it. So one of the things you need to be able to do is, if you're gonna get that conquer level, is continue to practice your multitasking. So these units are running across, right? You're moving to food, to berries. This is your time to take like 6 and kind of guess and just start adding farms, because the farming economy for HRE under Aachen is so good, and you want to use that wood on something. And it makes it so your villagers are not all burning through the berries super fast. Instead, they are getting infinite food going. But you want to start adding these gradually, so you're not trying to do it all at once. Good catch. I like that you're scouting again here. He should have no units. You should have 0 units. The other option you could have done, since he literally went completely naked castle, if you look at this, no units. Absolutely none. What you could have done, well, he's making knights now, right? And that's what I mean. So he can make units out of the white tower, which once it really sucks. Like, the ability for it to make units is what makes it especially unfair, because he doesn't need production building. But he's trying to take the relics from you. Like, your biggest goal should have been to immediately cover the relics. Your other thing you could have done is you could have dropped rams and went for it, partly because he has no units to defend the rams, and you could have probably done good damage on that. But that's risky, and it's difficult, and it's a lot of micro, because he'll try to burn the rams down. So you really needed to cover the relics for your own sake, because he already got 1, and that sucks. Like, you really want those relics. You see him dropping the barracks, Macri in the castle. Once again, that's what, so like, that's what I mean. The walls were really important here. You had the wood to immediately wall. Well, you had the wood to 1. I would have dropped a market so that you can adjust eco if you over gather. You should immediately drop walls when you hit castle, so he can't raid you. And you need to start adding farms. That's the biggest thing I'm seeing right now. Because the second the barriers are out, you have to leave, and that's super dangerous. You're lucky he didn't micro those at all. What are you dropping? Okay, I can see where it was. See? Came to cover it. You also could just start... So spears are pretty cheap too, so you should have started massing spears, because it's very likely he would come at you with spears. I mean, with knights. The lack of walls is really going to kill you if he was... I mean, he's a good player, but the rate... You can just tell the difference in high school players from just their raiding ability. And the walls is just so important. I like that you make another scout. Wow. That should not have worked. Even if you did kill, it's okay. It's right in your base. But once again, I'm going to emphasize again, walls. You had so many... You had an opportunity there to really do these easy walls. And you really need wood right now. Gosh, you need wood. You're super heavy on food. But you actually need... wood. Because you're gonna be housed soon. So just a complete lack of wood gathering is really hurting you right now. 2, you need to be making as many units as possible. consistent making units. You're floating 700 food, 400 gold. At this level, as much as possible, you're not floating resources. So make sure you're constantly producing. You should be making men-at-arms. Great, you're doing upgrades. And you also should be making crossbows. I know it's HRE, and sometimes people are like, well, I don't make crossbows. No, make crossbows. Your crossbows are super fast. They can chase things down. So you should be making crossbows and men-at-arms. I like how you're rallying to the dangerous position here. You have a few units covering gold, so the rest should be covering the food. How many locks are you going to get? 2? Sucks. You really want 3. Like 3 is your big goal as HRE. He's one up. He might be rushing. Is he rushing him? No, he's not. But you see what I mean here, where you hit castle and he immediately walled, because he's setting up his safe eco and he doesn't want you chasing him down. And all his villagers are behind these walls. So you see how he's doing that immediately, even with the white tower. You can tell which one he valued the ones away from the white tower first, and now he's walling for the white tower. And then he's just gonna sit in his little pocket and protect himself. Are you rushing Imp? Because if so, that's not a bad idea. Nice. Nice Imp timing. Once again, this is a huge little thing that rally your units to the dangerous zone here. Really smart. So at this point, you want to start. You want to get your main upgrades for your men-at-arms. You could just men-at-arms. Since your imp is not, you could just do pure men-at-arms. So I prioritize getting all the upgrades for arrows, upgrade men-at-arms, drop a bunch of barracks, and you go for it. The thing that's holding you back is your lack of wood. The lack of wood is really holding you back here. So I would prioritize getting wood earlier. See, I don't like this place in the Swabia because it's not on anything. So if I was you, I would have dropped it here. So my big thing of Swabia is you rely the Swabia onto wood, and then as those units are gathering wood, you can then transfer them to other things like farms or gold or so whatever you need. But they're on a resource you need. You need a lot of wood as you enter Imperial. They drop all the production you need, as well as transition to farms, which if you do a fast Imperial like you did. But it's always nice to drop the palace on something. In this case, you dropping it against the wood line would have been the best option. He felt like he had to push, but he was not ready. It was good that you were making units as you're kind of rushing Imp there, because that could have been a really bad push if you hadn't done that. As you start getting more villagers out, you should start transferring over to stone. Is a big thing to do at this point is to control space with stone. With keeps, so like a keep here controls the central area, he can't run past it. A keep here controls the right side, he can't run past it. A keep here could, like, you use it to control resources and also space, so you reduce the area he can run by, especially on this map where like so much of the gold is in this pocket right here. Dropping a keep right here secures so much gold, or just makes it really hard for him to get to gold. So when you enter this mid period of castle and imperial, a big thing you should be trying to do is just, you want to try to win the game, but you also want to envision what if the game goes long, especially against English. So in that case, cutting off gold and cutting off resources is a really big deal, especially on forts where you get a lot in your initial, but once that's out, everything's in the middle. So securing that keeps early can be a huge win condition. I'm like, you're not over pushing. Like, you're at the advantage right here, your eco's going to be booming, you don't want to throw your army away. So I like the patience. I like these lumber camps. Okay, now he's going to try to hit. But this is a big thing you're missing here, right? You have 2 relics, they're not being used. I hate having relics sit in the regnets. It's a waste. The second you got those relics, I would have dropped towers here and here, knowing I'm going to put farms here. Then you get sprinkled upgrades, and then they're like sniper bots. So that's the first thing I would have done. But these farms should have been up earlier, honestly. Get the university down, great. You just need so much more wood. Like, the wood's actually the thing holding you back. Because your production should be taken off, but you have 2 barracks. You could be reducing way more than 2 barracks. You could be reducing out of like 6 barracks right now, which would be huge for your ability to put forward an army and fight him. A lot of these games come down to who just has more production, so your lack of wood is really hurting you. Especially because the food on the map is finite, you're burning through it right now. You're lucky. He is so slow. Berkshire in the center. And so, you see what he did there? A complete distraction. A complete distraction. You over-pursued on that. You did not need to send every man-at-arm and every hand cannoneer you had after his men-at-arms. You should have sent, you know, a group, but you didn't need to do all of them. You know he wants to get a Berkshire. You know you want to prevent him from being able to set up a solid Berkshire like this. Instead, if you had kept the rest, you doing it on raids is a really big deal. You don't want to overdo it on a raid, because if you could have caught him making this Berkshire, it's game over instantly. Once again, sorry about the coughing. Now we have 75 villagers on wood. Jesus Christ. I hate that these farms are here because you still have space around your Aachen. Delete the lumber camps, put it on your Aachen. Take a moment. You're still very far ahead. You don't need to panic. You don't need to rush. Get a cannon placement in that. Like at this point, we're like a solid 20 villagers on stone, so that you can just be dropping keeps everywhere. But until you get walls up, he's gonna keep doing these raids. Like you need a wall up. At this point, you could just wall up side to side, and then you want to take sacred sites. It's free gold you're missing out on. You can't take it now because Berkshire's there, but you know what I mean. I like that you just went trebuchets. Pretty straightforward. Good stuff. His ego's way behind yours because of Swabia. You're at 124. He's at 70-40. Did you drop a second TC? No, he didn't. So yeah, his eco's just really behind. He's struggling at this point. Now you're just gonna clean him up. Get the university upgrade. Good. Did you get the arrow upgrade? Good. Good job. Good job. And this is desperation, but at this point it's almost GG. Like, he has a little bit more armor because of his upgrades, but your damage should be better because you have the maces, so. You want to tower. You want to keep towering as you move forward so that you can have vision, and just you can keep upgrading the towers with bombard emplacements or springable placements. This is classic English strategy. He's just trying to outmass you because he has farms, and farms with the full imperial upgrades can just imprint men-at-arms. You need to get the full eco upgrades, and once again, you're missing out on a lot of eco because you're not around your Aachen. He's gonna keep that gold. This is another thing, you have full map control. You don't want to let him sneak out and get resources. So one, if you had walled across the map earlier, it would be hard for him to get the gold. And two, it's a smart move to just like, one, if you have the map control, just tower across the map. Just have a group of 3 villagers just tower across. Another thing you can do is just send like 1 unit to each gold mine, just so you can catch him if he goes to them. Oh, that's too far. Too far. Too far, okay. You can just walk in now. At this point with full imp upgrades, the white tower isn't doing the crazy amount of damage anymore. Yeah, overall, very nice game. The things that you were missing out on early, and even kind of now. 1, you're just now adding production. You should have triple the amount of production. 2, you should have added production earlier. He could have just purely outproduced you, and a better player would do that. 3, you need to use all of your advantages. You need to farm around your Aachen. You need to kind of plan your base around to do that. Drop your Swabia on a resource so your villagers are just going straight onto it and then moving them around. Lastly, scouting. When you scout and you see you have an advantage, go take it. If you're making units, go for it. You waited too long. And lastly, what was the last thing I want to say? Oh, if he hits castle before you, it is vital that you wall. You did a really good job defending by just building units and putting them around. but a better player raids you to death on that. They really do, or at least they slow you down a lot. And lastly, don't overreact to raids. Judge how much it is. Send the appropriate units, especially as HRE. Your infantry are so fast, you can just chase them down anyway, no matter what. So send the appropriate amount. Don't send all of them, because a common thing that players will do at this level is they'll send an initial raid, and all your units will chase that one, and then they'll send in a second wave. That really starts doing eco damage. But overall, really good match, man. I think you're gonna make Conquer this season. I think you got it in you. Just keep grinding, and keep doing purposeful play. So keep these like goals in mind that I'm giving you, and try to really think through them and try to follow them as you go. And let me know if you have any questions. Good luck on your games.